Nothing. Nada. Zip. It wasn't what Quebecers were told they were to hear on their smartphones this morning. The Alert Ready system should have gone off on compatible smartphones at 9:55 a.m., sounding like this. Instead, silence.
We're used to failure in Canada.
That makes me a bit nervous in the end, actually.
A spokesperson for the CRTC says the failure in Quebec was due to human error. An extra space was accidentally typed into the code sequence. The new phone alerts are in addition to the current broadcast system, and today's test in Quebec did go out on TV and radio.
You got anything on your phone?
But hours later, in Ontario, another test followed by more confusion.
Haven't got one yet.
Well, definitely I'll be waiting for an explanation.
Some received the alert.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Others got it late. Some received it twice, and some didn't get it at all. It's still not clear why. The company that operates the system, Palmerec, says it's working with its partners to identify the cause. Eamon Hoey says when you're dealing with that much data, delays are a fact of life.
So if you have a computer and you're sending a message out to a number of your friends, doesn't mean that everybody's going to get your message exactly at the same time you press the send switch.
Keep in mind, the system doesn't work with every smartphone and it requires an LTE network. But today, even some customers who met both requirements didn't get an alert.
A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes.
Once the technical issues are resolved, the system isn't guaranteed to be error-free. Earlier this year in Hawaii, a false alert was sent out warning of an inbound ballistic missile causing panic. In Saskatchewan, in January, staff sent out flood and wildfire alerts by mistake. Today's test proves that there's still work to do.
I will need to talk to the technical experts to see how serious a technical flaw existed today, and whether this is simply a matter of somebody making a coding error, or whether it's more profound.
The company gets another shot on Wednesday. The alert system is scheduled to be tested across the rest of the country, with the exception of Nunavut.
And Natalie, tellingly, you had an interesting experience standing next to your producer when these alerts were supposed to go out.
Well, that's right. We had the exact same phone on the same network. She received the alert immediately. It took about 5 minutes before I received it. We know that that is an experience that many people have been having, some, of course, not even getting that alert at all.
Yeah, lots of people in our newsroom didn't get it at all. And as of tonight, we still don't know why.
And we don't know how many. That's the other really interesting thing. We don't know why some people got the alert, why some people didn't, even if they had a newer phone on a major network in a big city, let alone people in rural communities with perhaps older phones. That's another element of that as well. And so we are waiting for that information. We've been calling, we've been asking, but we don't have it yet.
This was, of course, a test, and we'll see when it rolls out in most of the rest of the country on Wednesday if it goes any more smoothly. Thanks, Natalie.
You're welcome.
So the emergency system meant to send you these alerts on your cell phones is the same one that's been delivering warnings to television and radio stations since 2014, and here's how it's supposed to get to you. The alert starts with emergency management officials in a federal, provincial, or territorial government. They decide if an alert needs to be issued because of an imminent threat to life. For example, it can be sent by Environment Canada because of a tornado or flood warning, or in some cases by a local police department for an Amber Alert or a terrorist threat. The message gets entered into something called the National Alert Aggregation and Dissemination, or NAD system. Palmerec, the parent company of the Weather Network, operates it. That system then communicates with radio and television stations and your wireless company to ask them to broadcast the alert in the affected area. This is all meant to happen within seconds of that alert being issued, and the government says it's then up to you to stop and listen and respond to the message. Now, the United States has a similar wireless emergency alert system. It's had it since 2012, and it has been used more than 33,000 times to warn the public about dangerous weather, missing children, and other critical situations. In the aftermath of the Boston Marathon bombing, state officials sent a message warning people to take shelter in the building they were in rather than go outside. In 2016, after bombs went off in New York and New Jersey, the warning system was used to put out a digital wanted poster identifying the suspect. But even though the technology has worked in the U.S., there can be complications. When a baby was abducted in 2013, an alert was sent out at 4 o'clock in the morning. Many were upset at being disturbed, and there were concerns that people would then opt out of the system.